Hi, this is Madeline Bracken, co-founder of Exceeding Your Everest. And today I'm coming to you from our hotel room in Dallas, Texas. We just recently got done traveling a little bit. And I have to admit, this probably won't be as professional as some of our recordings, but I really wanted to reach out to you today because I had a thought, I had a conversation on the airplane. Reverse that. I had a conversation on the airplane on my way over here with a woman who saw me journaling, and she looked so amazed, and she asked me, how do you journal? You know, I've tried for years, but I have such a hard time just keeping it up and keeping that journal every day. And that got me thinking, what are the secrets that have helped me journal? Maybe you've wanted to keep a journal, maybe a gratitude journal, a health journal, or just a journal log. This is an attribute, a habit that's been dated back to 10th century Japan, and it really successful people have done it. Presidents have kept journals for their posterity, but there's also a lot of psychological benefits to keeping in a journal. It's not just for posterity, but it's for health, for relieving stress, for helping you maybe reconcile with other people as well, and just to know yourself better. This is a habit that a lot of therapists and coaches, this is the first thing they'll assign you. You need to start journaling. But for a lot of people, it's difficult. So I'm going to share you the 5 tips that have helped me keep up journaling. I've journaled for about a decade now. I absolutely love it, and I can't say I'm perfect. You know, my first journal I filled up, it took me about 3 years to fill up my first journal. And then my next journal was about a year. Then the journal after that, 7 months. Until slowly but surely my journal writing started getting more and more consistent. Until finally I fill up about a journal every 4 months, and I love this process. Even right now I have my journal with me right here. And so you're about to learn the 5 tips of keeping a journal successfully. Tip number 1 is always have your journal with you. Always have it with you in your purse, in your suitcase. You just always want to have your journal and your pen. I know some people type it, but they have found a lot of benefits to actually writing it. There's a beautiful connection with the subconscious mind when paper meets pen. So definitely you're going to want to write that journaling. That's tip number 1, have it with you. And this is something Richard Branson always says, I'll never be cut dead without my journal. And a lot of other, playwriters will say, you can't be left without a journal. You want it with you at all times. Tip number 2 is don't ever try to play catch up. The journal that took me 3 years to write is because each time I wrote, I would try to catch up for all the days I missed or all the weeks I missed, until every time I sat down to write, I was writing about weeks and weeks before and not about today. So that's rule number 2. Never try to play catch up. Be forgiving to yourself. Rule number 3 is feel free to be a little bit creative with it. Keep receipts, keep interesting pictures. I'll look at my journal, so you can see right here I have a little postcard. This is when we went to the Norman Rockwell Art Museum in Utah, and then right there is the Make a Difference sticker from when I donated blood. And again, these are just simple things, but it's fun to kind of look through your journal and in the words see it broken up with pictures, with little mementos, little theater tickets of a movie you particularly enjoyed. Tip number 4 is don't be attached to the length. If all you have time for is a tiny bit, write a tiny bit. Be happy with that. Don't feel like you have to fill up an entire page, or you can only fill up an entire page. Do what you have time for. It's about starting a habit and getting what's inside of you out there. So that's tip number 4. Number 5, and this one is particularly important. This is the one that the woman next to me on the airplane said, oh my gosh, that is such a good idea. A lot of people get it in their mind that they have to keep a journal at night. This can be challenging. You might be tired at night. You might have things to do at night. You might have a spouse or a kid or just TV that doesn't let you do it at night. So tip number 5 is write anytime you have time. Keep it with you always. If you have time in the morning, write in the morning. If you have time in the evening, write in the evening. If you have time, 10 minutes in the bathroom. That's what this lady was laughing about. She keeps all of her good books in the restroom, and she said, you know what, maybe, just maybe, I could write while I'm in the restroom because that's the one place my kids aren't there. But it doesn't matter. right when you have time. So again, those are your 5 tips to keeping a journal for your health, for your psychological benefits as well. Number 1, again, keep your journal and pen with you at every time. Number 2, don't ever try to play catch up. Number 3, keep receipts, make it fun, or anything you want to put in there. Number 4, don't be attached to the length. Whatever you want to write is perfect. Number 5, write anytime. The important thing is that you are writing. Thank you. I would love to hear, how your habits went, and if you have any particular message you would like be shared in these videos. Have a beautiful day and start exceeding your Everest.